Good evening, I'm Prasad Michael and you're watching Kini News, the show that brings you today's biggest stories. The Al Jazeera documentary on the treatment of undocumented migrants during the COVID-19 outbreak is now under the microscope of the government. Not only will the cops be looking to speak to the reporters, one of the men interviewed in the documentary is now wanted by the Immigration Department. Bangladeshi national Md Rayhan Kabir is wanted by the Immigration Department after he appeared in a contentious Al Jazeera documentary titled Locked Up in Malaysia's Lockdown. The department said in a statement that they are looking for the 25-year-old to assist in its probe under the Immigration Act. Rayhan's last known address is listed as Menara Uncang Emas, Jalan Loke Yew in Kuala Lumpur. With the search notice, the department included a picture of Rayhan featuring a beard and clean-shaven. It said members of the public with information can call Immigration Assistant Director Nurulmasha Nazlinan Hussin at 03-880-1298 during office hours or the operations room at 03-880-1555 after office hours. This comes after Police Chief Abdul Hamid Badur revealed that investigation papers have been opened into the documentary.
Oleh kerana ada laporan polis dibuat terhadap laporan jadi tanggungjawab tidak untuk menjalankan siasatan untuk menentukan sama ada terdapat unsur hasutan ke atau kesalahan dari segi apa juga undang-undang itu dalam siasatan.
Berapa laporan yang polis terima?
Saya tak dapat angka dia, tapi saya tahu ada beberapa laporan polis telah dibuat.
The documentary was aired on the International News Agency's 101 East program last weekend. It highlighted the government crackdown and handling of undocumented migrants during the movement control order in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Since its airing, many netizens have taken to social media to call out the alleged misrepresentation of facts in the report, with calls for the reporters and Rayhan to be deported. Meanwhile, the National Security Council, which is coordinating Malaysia's response to the COVID-19 outbreak, issued a warning that migrants risk having their immigration passes cancelled if they made, quote, inaccurate statements against the country. So while the cops swoop in on the documentary, Parliament Digital is not under the police radar, according to the IGP. Inspector General of Police Abdul Hamid Badur has denied news reports claiming Parliament Digital participants were called in for questioning after the event on Saturday. When asked to elaborate on the matter today, Abdul Hamid told reporters he was puzzled by the reports.
Dan sila tampil ke depan, saya nak tahu siapa dia yang dipanggil oleh polis tu, dan polis mana yang manggil dia tu saya nak tahu. Setakat ni saya belum dapat lagi, saya dah semak dengan apa ni. Tidak ada pihak saya memanggil apa ni. Tapi saya minta kerjasama yang membuat aduan tadi supaya tampil ke depan. Jangan bimbang. Kita akan ambil tindakan yang seadil-adil. Saya tidak tahu, ini news untuk saya.
Abdul Hamid was responding to news reports where the organisers of Parliament Digital claimed that participants were contacted by police after the programme ended on Saturday. This prompted several parties, including Kampung Tengku Assembly Person Lim Yi Wei and Lawyers for Liberty, to condemn the police action. However, the country's top cop told reporters that he did not see any criminal elements in the programme to prompt police action.
So, Tan Sri, does that mean that there is no crime element in what the news report involving the...
No, in the first place. Tak ada issue.
No issue at all, okay.
Tapi saya pun terkejut mengatakan pihak polis ada memanggil mereka. Saya semak dengan dalaman.
So
tidak ada sesiapa memanggil.
No crime element in whatsoever.
So far tak ada lah.
Okay.
So saya menghormati kebebasan untuk jaminan saya.
The first ever Parliament Digital session was organised by 3 youth-led, politically independent organisations, namely Challenger Malaysia, Undi 18 and Liga Demokratik Malaysia. Among others, the idea was mooted to prove that it was possible to hold a virtual Parliament session after the last May 18 Dewan Rakyat sitting was cut short to 1 day over COVID-19 fears. When Dewan Rakyat sits on July 13th, their first agenda will be to appoint a new Speaker and a Deputy Speaker, and the Prime Minister has already nominated 2 names. Dewan Rakyat could possibly see the installation of a new Speaker after Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin put forward a motion to nominate Election Commission Chief Azhar Azizan Harun as the Dewan Rakyat Speaker and BN Pengarang MP Azalina Othman as the Deputy Speaker. The matter was confirmed by Dewan Rakyat Deputy Speaker Nga Ko Meng in an interview with Chinese media earlier today. Nga was quoted as saying by Sinchu Daily that this will be the first motion to be tabled at the upcoming Dewan Rakyat sitting on July 13th. In his motion, Muhyiddin said Azhar and Azalina have agreed to their appointments should they be nominated and elected by the MPs. The motion was submitted by Muhyiddin last month to the current Dewan Rakyat Speaker, Muhammad Harif Muhammad Yusof, and Nga. Arif has said his office had accepted both motions for debate. Azhar has been helming the Election Commission since September 2018, while Azalina, a five-term parliamentarian, was among others the de facto law minister under the previous BN government. Thomas Fun refused to answer questions asked by the cops earlier today. Instead, he told them he'll answer those questions in court. Bersih 2.0 chairperson Thomas Fun chose to remain silent at the Dangwangi District Police Headquarters today when he was questioned by police in two separate investigations over protests against the Sheraton move earlier this year. After being questioned for 20 minutes, he told media gathered outside that he will only answer those questions in court by exercising his rights under Section 112(2) of the Criminal Procedure Code. Fun is being investigated under Section 9(5) of the Peaceful Assembly Act for two postings on Bersih's official Facebook page. The first investigation is over a posting on February 25th, which urged the public to protest against a, quote, undemocratic backdoor government to not let politicians selfishly dictate the future direction of the country. The second investigation is over a posting on February 29th, which urged citizens who were unhappy with the betrayal of the people's mandate brought by the Sheraton move to attend the protest. Fun said if the authorities believe they have a case against him as the organizer, then they are free to charge him, and he will then answer in court. According to Section 112(2) of the Criminal Procedure Code, someone who is being investigated shall be bound to answer all questions relating to the case. However, if answering such questions may have a tendency to expose them to criminal charges, penalty or forfeiture, that person may refuse to answer any questions. Fun stressed that the right to organize a peaceful assembly is the people's fundamental right under the Constitution, and also criticized the new government for using police investigations to silence dissidents. Now, let's take a look at the country's latest COVID-19 situation. The Health Ministry reported more new cases than recoveries today, but on the bright side, it's still at a single digit, with most cases being imported. Malaysia today recorded 6 new COVID-19 cases, 4 of which were imported, and 2 from local transmissions. All 6 cases reported today involved Malaysians. According to Health Ministry Director General Dr. Nurulmasha Abdullah, the 2 local transmissions were detected from workplace screenings. One was from Kuala Lumpur and another from Selangor. The death toll remains unchanged at 121. Dr. Hisham said since April 3rd, 647 people returning to Malaysia have been found positive of COVID-19. Since April 3rd, the government had required all overseas returnees to undergo compulsory 14-day isolation at quarantine stations. However, the government on June 10th shifted the procedure to home quarantine. Dr. Hisham said today there were no reported cases of family members of people under quarantine at home being infected with COVID-19. Meanwhile, he also reported that 5 COVID-19 patients have been discharged after recovering. One of Dr. Mahathir's most loyal supporters has rejected the idea of Anwar Ibrahim being Harapan's PM candidate. And he didn't stop there. He took it a step further. Khairuddin Abu Hassan, a loyal supporter of former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, has renounced his support for Pakatan Harapan, citing an unwillingness to accept PKR President Anwar Ibrahim as a Prime Minister candidate. In a statement, Khairuddin also announced his decision to quit Amanah with immediate effect. Khairuddin said Anwar's inability to lead PKR and Harapan has led to the coalition's eventual split and fall from federal power. In the past, Khairuddin has suggested that Anwar is unworthy to lead the country and suggested that he may go on a campaign to block his rise. Khairuddin, who warned that Harapan will not repeat its GE14 victory under Anwar's lead, urged remaining leaders to also reject the Port Dickson MP's bid as the 9th Prime Minister. A former UMNO man, Khairuddin left the party in 2015 and had a brief stint with Bersatu. He remained loyal to Mahathir even after leaving Bersatu to lead the Citizens' Declaration movement, mobilized as part of efforts to seek the removal of then Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak in the early days of the 1MDB scandal. Khairuddin had made his political comeback with Amanah shortly before GE14 to contest the Jasin Parliament seat, which he lost to BN's Ahmad Hamza by a 219-vote majority in a 3-cornered fight. Coming up next, we look at how the marine life off the coast of Italy has flourished during the lockdown. A study conducted by Italy's Coast Guard says marine life is moving around more than ever in the Mediterranean Sea, thanks to places being evacuated by people. Marine life in the Mediterranean of Italy flourished during the coronavirus lockdown as water quality improved and species moved into spaces vacated by people and ships, the Italian Coast Guard has found. The strict rules halting business and movement for 2 months offered an unprecedented opportunity to monitor the impact of human activity on the sea that surrounds Italy.
Quello che già al momento abbiamo constatato è che la presenza inconsueta.
At the moment, we found an unusually large presence of marine species, such as dolphins in the Imperia area, sea turtles between Pantelleria and Lampedusa. Also, in port areas, whale sightings off the island of Elba. All of this has made us understand that the lack of humans has allowed these marine species to go into areas where previously they wouldn't go.
Since April, the Coast Guard has used water samples, underwater footage filmed by remotely operated vehicles and its own divers, and a census of unusual sightings of marine species close to heavily populated areas to monitor the sea. However, the COVID-19 pandemic is posing new threats, with masks, gloves and hand sanitizer bottles increasingly found in the sea. The so-called COVID waste is adding to marine pollution made up of microplastics, tiny particles from the breakdown of everything from shopping bags to car tires. Since July 2019, the Coast Guard has recovered 75 tons of plastic and 5 tons of abandoned plastic nets. Coast Guard spokesperson Cosimo Nicastros said he was optimistic the lockdown has given people more understanding of how fragile the environment is. In about a week, Israel will have more access to high-quality surveillance, all thanks to a spy satellite they just shot into space. Israel on Monday launched a new spy satellite that it said would provide high-quality surveillance for its military intelligence. Israel has been building up its surveillance capabilities to monitor enemies such as Iran, whose nuclear program it sees as a major threat. The satellite, called OFAC-16, was shot into space early morning on July 6th from a site in central Israel by a locally developed Shavet rocket, which was used to launch previous OFAC satellites. Defense Minister Benny Gantz said Israel will continue to strengthen and maintain its capabilities on every front in every place. The Defense Ministry called OFAC-16 an electro-optical reconnaissance satellite with advanced capabilities. The first images will be received in about a week. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news updates. I'll be back with more tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Prasad Michael. Thank you for watching.